Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Inks. Today we have Dan Shine of Automotive News. And Ted, quite the conversation we're going to have.
Great honor to welcome Dan Shine from Automotive News. Dan, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Wonderful to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Dan, thank you for all you do for the industry, first of all, and all you bring to light and help advancing automotive.
Thanks. That's what we're here for.
Yep.
Yeah.
You are very much involved in the fixed ops space, among others. Okay.
Yep.
What are some of the things that you're seeing this year in 2026 that we should keep our eye on as dealers?
I think, we've heard about the SAR for next year, and it's going to be down. New vehicle sales are going to be down. And I think once again, the back end of the dealership, the fixed ops department, is going to be looked upon to kind of carry the load again, kind of what they did during COVID a little bit. And so I think there's going to be a lot of pressure on service departments to deliver to be that profit generating engine that it has been in the past. But I think there are issues with that, and not all, but an average ROs are pretty flat. And so I think for them being flat, but all service departments are making money, but it's because I think they're raising labor rates a little bit. And so I think you get in the danger of chasing customers away in this affordability crisis. Yeah. To the independents if you're charging too much. So it's dealerships and service departments are going to have to do a good job of marketing, showing that they're not much more expensive maybe than an independent, maybe the same price as independents, and kind of keep those customers there.
And Dan, Automotive News is really a lot of incredible information out there for our dealers that are listening today. What types of stories are you finding fixed operations leaders need to be paying attention to the most?
Well, I think it's this year is going to be a lot of talk about AI and how it might smooth out processes. And so we try and focus on stories that are going to help them do their job better and understand, maybe, educate them a little bit, or, give them some perspective on what's going on in the industry. So the stories that are about technology, we try and find best practices out in the dealership world and say, here's someone who saw a challenge, here's how they surmounted it, and maybe this could be food for thought for that other dealerships who are reading. So we try and find stories that are going to be educational and informative for the dealerships.
Speaking of the affordability crisis, if you will, average age of a vehicle now I don't think it's ever been higher. I think 12.8.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Every year goes up a little bit.
Going up.
Go about another month. Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you think dealers need to be keeping their eye on in 2026 as we work our way into the year from your vantage point in Automotive News?
So I think there's great opportunities there, right? People are holding onto their cars longer because, again, we talk about the high price of new vehicles.
Yes.
Even used, it can be high. So people are in an affordability crisis right now, so they're not buying vehicles. They're keeping their car. And so there's opportunities out there for dealerships to find these folks. And if they still have them, to retain them with good communication and good services, or you've got to kind of go out and make your case. If they've defected, and 70% have defected, usually after 3 years, you've got to make a case to go out and find them again and bring them back, whether it's through a recall or some other thing, and get them going. So it's a great opportunities, but it will require a lot of work.
And retention continues to be an important component in fixed operations, and really that customer experience, that's what's going to drive all of that retention back to the dealer.
Yeah, if you're making the process easy, it's communication. How many times have we heard this? Meet the customer where they are. And that's, for a lot of people, it's through texting, your car's, your car's back in the bay, your car is being worked on, these updates. Even if you don't have an update from them, just to say because it's communicate with the customer. We're thinking of you. We haven't forgotten about you. Those are keys. And if you can make it smooth, make it a painless quick, they'll keep coming back to a dealership because they have factory trained technicians and factory parts. And so, those again are things that dealership service departments need to promote.
Lots.
Dan Shine from Automotive News, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
Pleasure. Great seeing you both.
Yep. Sarah Vantine and I are here at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. We will be right back.